Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to participate in the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Washington, D.C. today. The meet set to focus on Indo-Pacific cooperation and counter-terrorism. Union Cabinet gives nod for employment-linked incentive scheme to support creation of over 3.5 crore jobs. Also approves Khelo Bharat Niti 2025 to transform the sports landscape in the country. And US Senate Republicans struggle to unite on Trump's $3.3 trillion tax cut bill. Elon Musk says he will target backers of the bill in 2026 midterm elections. Dr. S. Jaishankar will participate in the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting on Tuesday. According to the External Affairs Ministry, the Quad Foreign Ministers will build upon the discussions held during last meeting, which also took place in Washington, D.C. on January 21st this year. The Ministry of External Affairs in a statement said, and I quote, "The leaders will exchange views on regional and global developments, particularly those concerning the Indo-Pacific, and review the progress made on various Quad initiatives in the run-up to the Quad Leaders Summit, which will be hosted by India." The ministers are also expected to deliberate on new proposals aimed at advancing the shared vision of a free and open Indo-Pacific. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will host the Quad Leaders Summit later this year, which will bring US President Donald Trump and Prime Ministers Anthony Albanese of Australia and Shigeru Ishiba of Japan to India. Now, on the sidelines of the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Washington, D.C. later today, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held talks with Japanese Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya. Both the leaders held discussions on infrastructure, investment and mobility. The leaders also exchanged views on deepening Quad engagement for a free and open Indo-Pacific. Through this engagement, the special strategic and global partnership is set to deepen and diversify. US Senate Republicans, meanwhile, are still trying to pass President Donald Trump's sweeping tax cut and spending bill despite divisions within the party. Trump's Republicans hold a 53-47 Senate majority, and the struggle to pass the bill has laid bare divides within the party over debt. The bill would also cut Medicaid and some food assistance programs for low-income Americans to partly offset the cost of the tax cuts. Meanwhile, tech billionaire Elon Musk stepped up his criticism of Trump's tax cuts, saying that he will target backers of the bill in 2026 midterm elections. So troubles looming large for Donald Trump's one big beautiful tax bill. US President Donald Trump said that he will discuss the situations in Gaza and Iran when he meets with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told his cabinet meeting in Jerusalem that the visit will also include talks with other top officials such as Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff, and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick.
This administration is in constant communication with Israeli leadership, and the president himself speaks frequently, as you know, to Prime Minister Netanyahu. But this has been a priority for the president since he took office, to end this brutal war in Gaza. It is because of this president that humanitarian aid is being brought into the region. It's heartbreaking to see the images that have come out from both Israel and Gaza throughout this war, and the president wants to see it end. He wants to save lives, and however, the main priority for the president also remains to bring all of the hostages home out of Gaza.
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to embark on a crucial 8-day, 5-nation visit from 2nd of July. This will be the longest foreign visit by Prime Minister Modi in over a decade. The visits will have a strong focus on strengthening India's partnerships in the global south.
The tour begins in the West African nation of Ghana, a visit that holds immense historical and strategic significance as it will be the first by an Indian Prime Minister in 3 decades. In Ghana, discussions are expected to revolve around enhancing economic, energy, and defense collaborations. India is already Ghana's largest buyer of goods, with gold making up over 70% of imports from the country. The visit aims to explore further avenues for trade and investment, including critical minerals, digital infrastructure, and the establishment of a vaccine hub in Ghana to serve the wider West African region. Prime Minister Modi is also slated to address the Ghanaian parliament, a gesture underscoring the strong democratic values shared by both the nations. Following Ghana, PM Modi will visit Trinidad and Tobago, where he will be the first Indian Prime Minister to undertake a bilateral visit since 1999. The visit to this Caribbean nation, which has a significant Indian diaspora, aims to strengthen bilateral partnerships across key areas and reaffirm enduring ties with the Caribbean. The third leg of the tour takes the Prime Minister to Argentina, marking the first bilateral visit by an Indian PM in 57 years. The focus here will be on expanding strategic partnerships in diverse sectors such as defense, agriculture, mining, oil and gas, and renewable energy. From Argentina, PM Modi will proceed to Brazil to attend the much anticipated 17th BRICS summit. This will be his 4th visit to Brazil as Prime Minister. At the BRICS summit, PM Modi is expected to engage in crucial discussions on global issues including the reform of international institutions, peace and security, responsible use of artificial intelligence, climate action, and strengthening multilateral cooperation. Bilateral meetings with various world leaders on the sidelines of the summit are also anticipated. Brazil is currently India's largest trading partner in South America, making this a vital stop for economic collaboration. The final destination on this extensive tour will be Namibia, where PM Modi's visit comes after a 27-year gap. The visit underscores India's commitment to strengthening ties with Southern Africa, with talks expected to cover trade, defense, energy, space, technology, farming, and healthcare. PM Modi will also address the Parliament of Namibia. Overall, this 5-nation tour is seen as a strategic move by India to bolster its presence and influence on the global stage, particularly within the global south. Bureau Report, DD India.
So as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to begin a landmark 5-nation tour from July 2nd to July 9th, his first stop is Ghana, a key partner in India's growing engagement with Africa. This marks the first bilateral visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Ghana in over 3 decades. As South-South cooperation takes centre stage, this visit reaffirms India's commitment to shared growth and global solidarity. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya reports.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to embark on a 5-nation visit from 2nd to 9th of July. The first stop, Ghana, a country of growing importance in India's Africa outreach. Prime Minister Modi's visit to Ghana on July 2nd and 3rd marks a historic moment, the first by an Indian Prime Minister in over 3 decades. The visit is aimed at boosting ties in key sectors: economy, energy, defense, and development cooperation. High-level talks with Ghanaian President John Dramani Mahama will focus on expanding India's engagement with regional bodies like Economic Community of West African States and African Union. Prime Minister Modi will also address the Parliament in Ghana, a visit that signals not just diplomacy but a deepening partnership rooted in mutual growth and shared aspiration. With camera person Mohan Mukur Sharma and Rakesh, along with my engineer Saurabh, this is
Okay, now let's take you to Washington DC, where External Affairs Minister Jaishankar is addressing.
And let me begin by saying that we're all committed to ensure a free and open Indo-Pacific. To that end, our endeavors are devoted to promoting a rules-based international order. It is essential that nations of the Indo-Pacific have the freedom of choice, so essential to make right decisions on development and security. In the last few months, we have made significant progress in Quad initiatives. They include the maritime domain, logistics, education, and political coordination. We will be discussing that in greater detail. The working of the Quad has also been made more efficient through streamlining the working groups. A more cohesive, nimble, and focused Quad will certainly help deliver better. Quad is about deepening our convergence and expanding our common ground. I value our consultations on different dimensions of the Indo-Pacific in that regard. A lot is happening in the world, and I'm sure that our exchange of views will be very valuable for all of us. A word about terrorism in the light of our recent experience. The world must display zero tolerance. Victims and perpetrators must never be equated, and India has every right to defend its people against terrorism, and we will exercise that right. We expect our Quad partners to understand and appreciate that. India plans to host the next Quad summit. We have some proposals on how to make that productive. I'm sure so do our partners. We will discuss, and I'm sure we will agree. Once again, I thank Secretary Rubio for hosting us today, and I look forward to our discussions. Thank you.
So that was the opening remarks being made by the Quad foreign ministers. We heard External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar addressing there in Washington, D.C., Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of State, Penny Wong, Australian Foreign Minister, and Japanese Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya also in attendance. So these discussions, as we told you earlier, are likely to focus on a range of issues, but particularly focusing on the Indo-Pacific cooperation, counter-terrorism, among other issues. So we'll get you updated as soon as we get the latest from Washington, D.C. And now going back to Prime Minister's upcoming visit to Ghana as part of his five-nation tour. In the heart of Accra stands the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, a tribute to Ghana's founding father and its first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Clad in Italian marble and crowned with the Black Star of Unity, the monument stands as a powerful symbol of Ghana's journey to freedom and its enduring legacy. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya tells us more.
I'm in Accra city, the capital of Ghana, and here Prime Minister Narendra Modi will start his five-nation tour. This is the first stop, Ghana, and here at this Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, I am here. It's a place where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming. This is the place dedicated to the first president of Ghana, and I have with me Dr. Collins, the executive director of this particular memorial park. Sir, Prime Minister Modi is coming here. It's an excitement for you also that, you know, the first president, the memorial park, and our own Prime Minister from India is coming here. How do you feel?
We feel very great. We feel very great. India and Ghana have shared very rich history together. We have all been partners in the struggle for colonial liberation or liberation from colonial rule. And so it's an amazing time for us to receive the Prime Minister. We are grateful. We are looking forward to seeing him, and we'll be here waiting for him.
Right. Also, sir, this is the place where the first president of Ghana was buried along with his wife, and this particular place looks like an upside, sword. To tell me the exact meaning of this, and how does that signify this current scenario in Ghana?
So this symbol actually shows two things. It depicts two things. One is the sword. Sword turned upside down. Now, sword turned upside down means peace. If the sword is raised up, you are at war, but when it's turned upside down, it is peace. And so he stands for peace. He's always been a peaceful man. And then the second one is a tree, a truncated tree. You know, if you look at it, you see that it kind of looks like a tree. At the bottom looks like, the roots. Right. And then at the top is kind of truncated. It means that Kwame Nkrumah started something really powerful. Along the way, he was cut off just like a tree. And so we use this to remember all the beautiful things that he started, but which were cut off because he couldn't, yeah.
Right. Also, sir, both India and Ghana shared a lot of values, a lot of history. Both were under British colonial rule. Now both want to grow together. How do you see India's role in helping Ghana become a developed country, especially when it comes to the West Africa and the African region?
India has been a very powerful ally to the country for many years. Since independence, it has contributed immensely in terms of technology, in terms of architecture, in terms of a lot of other things. We already, in fact, the very idea that we have our presidency, in other words, the official office of our president has been designed and built by India. That shows the extent of the connections that we have between the two people. So I think that would India help us? Absolutely. They've been fantastic so far, and we're just looking forward to having more of India's involvement in our political and economic life.
Appreciate your time. So that was Executive Director of this particular National Memorial Park, stating that India and Ghana shared values and they are looking forward to going ahead in the future together. With Person Rockets, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India.
So this power-packed visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to 5 countries, Trinidad and Tobago, Brazil, Argentina, Ghana and Namibia, starts tomorrow. You're watching DD India Live, still to come on the show. Prime Minister Modi marks 10 years of Digital India as a decade of inclusion, access and opportunity for all. And Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra suspended by Constitutional Court amid growing political turmoil and pending trial.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you.
That's exactly what save your country.
You read between the lines, cut the clutter and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
Thank you for staying with us on DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja. 1st July marks the 10th anniversary of Digital India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday shared a detailed reflection on the completion of 10 years of the Digital India initiative. In a post on social media platform, the Prime Minister shared his blog titled A Decade of Digital India. Prime Minister Modi stressed that while previous decades were marked by skepticism about Indians' ability to use technology, this government changed that approach by trusting the citizens' capabilities. The Prime Minister said that when the intent is right, innovation empowers the less empowered. The blog further stated that this belief laid the foundation for Digital India, a mission to democratize access, build an inclusive digital infrastructure and provide opportunities for all. Highlighting the progress made since 2014, Prime Minister Modi noted that in 2014, India had around 25 crore internet connections. Today, that number has grown to over 97 crores. The Prime Minister credited the India Stack, India's digital backbone, for powering platforms like UPI, which handles 100+ billion transactions every year. India's digital economy is empowering MSMEs and small entrepreneurs like never before. And it has also been 8 years since the implementation of the Goods and Services Tax, GST, the country's biggest tax reform since independence. After building consensus during the Modi government's first term, GST was rolled out at midnight on July 1st, 2017. Taking it to social media platform X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote him, 8 years since it was introduced, GST stands out as a landmark reform that has reshaped India's economic landscape. By reducing the compliance burden, it has greatly improved the ease of doing business, particularly for small and medium enterprises. GST has also served as a powerful engine for economic growth while fostering true cooperative federalism by making states equal partners in this journey to integrate India's market. The Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday, approved the Employment-Linked Incentive Scheme to support employment generation, enhance employability and social security across all sectors with special focus on manufacturing sector. Minister Ashwini Vaishnav announced that under the scheme, first-time employees will get 1 month's wage up to 15,000 rupees with incentives for a period of 2 years and extended benefits for another 2 years for the manufacturing sector. The Cabinet also approved the National Sports Policy 2025.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इन 11 वर्षों में स्पोर्ट्स पे एक अलग तरीके से ध्यान देके और विशेषकर ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में जो टैलेंट है उसको आगे लाने का एक सिस्टमैटिक तरीके से आगे लाने का प्रयास किया। उसी कड़ी में ये आज स्पोर्ट्स की पॉलिसी खेलो भारत नीति बनी है। खेलो भारत नीति के मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव रहेगा कैसे भारत 2047 तक टॉप 5 स्पोर्टिंग नेशंस में गिनती हो भारत की।
Recently, India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman travelled to the Union Territory of Ladakh as part of the Indian government's Vibrant Village initiative. In a newspaper article titled "Finding Meaning in Ever-Changing Skies," Minister Sitharaman shared her experience of her visit to Ladakh. The Finance Minister wrote that Tulku, or the administrative head of the Hemis monastery, who hailed from a far-off village near Chushul town, shared with her that because of better connectivity, the travel time to his village has reduced from 6 hours a few years ago to 2 hours now. It is evident everywhere how Ladakh is benefiting from the abundant resources being made available to Ladakh. Recalling her visit to the region, Minister Sitharaman wrote, "We visited a makeshift Anganwadi center that also moves with the change of seasons. The Anganwadi is being supported under the Dharti Aba Janjatiya Gram Utkarsh Abhiyan that aims to improve access of nomadic tribes to health and education. This has been the hallmark of governance under Prime Minister Modi, where policies are made keeping the aspirations and needs of every Indian." The village of Hanle is the first dark sky reserve in India, a distinction that makes it special not just for cosmic tourism but also for scientists and astronomers. The major atmospheric Cherenkov experiment telescope at Hanle utilizes the Cherenkov effect to detect high-energy gamma rays from astrophysical sources. So during her visit, the minister travelled to the picturesque Pangong Saw Lake, while the pristine glassy lake stretching to nearly 140 kilometers radiated calmness. The hills in the background kept changing colors as if they were alive in the mind of an artist trying out various hues in one's color palette. Minister Sitharaman said that Ladakh's terrain is rugged and cold, but it nurtures life in a unique way. The cultural landscape of Ladakh is fertilized by the spiritual oasis of Buddhism, wrote the minister. At an event held at New Delhi's Bharat Mandapam to mark the completion of 1 year since the enactment of the 3 new criminal laws on Tuesday, Home Minister Amit Shah said that India's conviction rate is currently lower than that of several other countries. He expressed confidence that the implementation of the new laws will significantly improve this situation. Shah added that the 3 new laws are poised to transform the criminal justice system in the coming days.
नई आपराधिक न्याय प्रणाली लागू होने के बाद सजा कराने का दर हमारे देश का बहुत नीचे है। अभी विश्व के कुछ देशों के कंपैरिजन में, तुलना में वो उनसे भी आगे पहुंचाया जाएगा और जो गुनाह करता है उसको निश्चित रूप से सजा मिले, इसके अंदर कठोरता के साथ प्रावधान किया है। मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूं कि तीनों कानून के कंप्लीट इंप्लीमेंटेशन के बाद हमारी न्याय प्रणाली विश्व की सबसे आधुनिक न्याय प्रणाली होगी, टेक्नोलॉजी का सबसे ज्यादा उपयोग होगा।
The Indian Navy on Tuesday commissioned INS Tamal at Yantar shipyard, Kaliningrad in Russia. INS Tamal is a formidable blue water warship capable of operating across air, surface, underwater and electromagnetic domains. It is armed with BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles, vertically launched surface-to-air missiles, a 30 mm close-in weapon system, a 100 mm main gun and advanced ASW rockets and torpedoes. The ship is equipped with automated systems for nuclear, biological and chemical defense, along with centralized damage control and firefighting, enhancing combat resilience and survivability. Now, Thailand's constitutional court suspended Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra on Tuesday, pending a case seeking her dismissal over a leaked phone call with Cambodia's former leader Hun Sen. The court accepted a petition from 36 senators accusing her of dishonesty and breaching ethical standards, violating the constitution. The leak sparked public outrage, weakening her coalition's majority as a key party abandoned the alliance, planning a no-confidence vote. She remains the culture minister post the reshuffle, with Deputy Prime Minister Surya Juangroongruangkit acting as caretaker. And now let's take a look at what else is making news across the world. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro urged a boycott of messaging and video calling app WhatsApp, accusing it of spying and psychological warfare to destabilize his government. He called for using alternatives like Telegram and WeChat. Maduro said that his government is creating a secure alternative messaging system. Europe is on high alert as a surprise early heat wave moves north. Temperatures soaring across southern Europe have now forced school closures in France and the Netherlands and broken records in Spain and Portugal. The World Meteorological Organization has warned that such heat waves will become more frequent and intense due to human-induced climate change. Heat waves going to become the new normal. That's what World Meteorological Organization is saying. We have to make a change before it's too late. That's all in this edition of DD India Live. For those on the go, you can download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates from India and the world. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.